Welcome back to another episode of Grown Ups. My name's James.
Shiz, and I guess from the Big Apple.
Sahil.
Giving us an example of, telling us what it's like over in America, and is it as crazy over in America as it is in the UK? We'll find out today. And yeah, what's going on today then?
Cool. I think we're just going to talk about first hustles that we ever did, or first earners. Do you want to start? Take it away.
I used to sell sunglasses at school. I used to buy sunglasses when I went on these holidays to Spain with my parents.
How old?
10. I was 10. Well, I was 10 turning 11.
Okay, cool.
And I bought sunglasses, £5 a pair. They were like the Oakley style one, you know, like the dad sunglasses.
Yeah, you couldn't rock them these days. No way.
You couldn't rock them. They should come full swing soon, shouldn't they? Have you seen those Lidl trainers that people wear?
Yeah. All that 90 stuff's coming back now, like baggy trousers.
Yeah.
Oakleys.
You were showing that Umbro stuff.
Yes.
Everything's cyclical.
Yeah, everything's cycles for sure.
Mm-hmm.
20 years, I think. 10 to 20 years, everything comes back.
But do you reckon Umbro was ever cool?
Nah, that was like the shit you get abused for in school.
Yeah.
Were they too short, man?
Huh?
I said they're too short.
What, Umbro?
Yeah, no. Some of them.
Short what?
The pants, the shorts you're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, that's like proper English football style, isn't it? The short shorts.
For America, it's too short, man.
Yeah. Or soccer, as you guys would call it.
Yeah, we call it soccer.
Yeah, that's like the shit you used to get bullied for. Like, your parents are poor if you went to Squid Umbro, and now it's like £800 for a hoodie.
£800, bro. Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
It was a collab with like Veterans, but still, I wouldn't rock that. Not for £800.
Nah, me neither. And I bought these sunglasses, £5 a pair. I was selling them for like £10 or £12 a pair at school.
Nice.
And my tutor at the time, she's a nice woman, and I thought I could get away with more than what I could. And she was like, "Oh, what are you selling there?" And I was like, "Oh, these are sunglasses."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I could get away with it. She told the headmaster. The headmaster went back to my dad, and then my dad lost his head with me. But he'd lent me the money. He would lost his head because I got caught. And also just because I didn't have to show off to her, you know. I did it for some reason.
Caught doing what though? You were doing something good, making money, right? Your dad's an entrepreneur. You did the same. Like, I'd be like, "Well done, son." You know, making money at, how old were you?
11.
11. Making money at 11 years old, you should get a pat on the back.
I know.
You can't punish good business.
Exactly.
I'm surprised she ratted you out, man.
Yeah, I know.
I thought she should have just been like, let it go. That's it.
Nah, and in school, they didn't really like people doing business because, you know, if you get in a fight or something.
What about you?
Me? The first thing I did was sell like these things called pixie sticks.
What's a pixie stick?
It's like a super skinny thing with like sugar inside of it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, looks like a straw. You rip it open.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but not just that, but like lollipops or chocolate, stuff like that. But yeah, I'd bring it to school or on the bus and sell this stuff. I think I was like about 12.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Oh, actually, maybe, 11 or 12. Yeah, it went well. Fine. Great. And after that, the second thing I did was I started this business called CDs R Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was in a real business.
How old were you?
About 12, I think. It was like 7th, 8th grade. And we made like an entire catalog. So it had like all the PS games and stuff like that.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was
That's
a long
cool.
time ago.
It's fun, isn't it? All the ideas that we have as kids and the stuff that we'll come out with. Like proper creative ideas. What about you, Shiz?
Yes, funny enough, actually, his auntie used to send me sweets from America, like, they didn't have in our school. So when I used to just play with them or eat them, people come up to me like, what are these, and try and buy them off me. And
Really?
before you know, everyone's trying to buy the sweets off me.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and they were super sour.
What, American candy?
Yeah, like super sour, like stuff you didn't get over here. And everyone would be trying to buy it off me. So I'd end up selling bits of it, whatever I didn't like. And then after a while, I went to the wholesalers and bought sweets and used to sell them, like chewing gum, sweets, whatever. Because at the time, I don't know if you remember, Jamie Oliver was saying that schools are making people fat. So they banned sweets in our school. So it became like a black market of sweets.
Makes sense.
It's funny, you know, everyone who sold sweets at school is doing well now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they are. I think it's because, like, what kind of kid is even going to sell sweets at school? Because you have to, like, there's a certain amount of embarrassment you get with selling sweets at school. You know when you first turn up, and you turn up to school, you've already got a load of people who don't want to see you do well anyway. Like, we all had people in our year that we didn't really get on with, and for whatever reason were, like, abrasive. You bring sweets, they're already laughing. You're like, oh, look, he's doing this, he's doing that. Like, you're prepared for getting laughed at. So the only reason you're doing it is because you want to get ahead. So, like, if you sold sweets on the school playground, there was something about you that was way different to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
It's a bit like doing this. A lot of people wouldn't do this. They're scared to do something because they're scared of their faces going up, and then they're scared of failing publicly. And it's the same thing with that. It's like you were on the stage of your school, and you're selling sunglasses, you're selling sweets, selling CDs, and if you bring them in and you don't sell any, you look like a dickhead. Everyone's laughing and thinking like, "Oh, did you see Shiz tried, or did you see Sahal tried?"
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're all doing well.
It's just like the car boot sale. Like, if you told people now, what did you do? And you're like, oh, I was selling stuff at a car boot sale, they'd laugh like, haha, like what, you were 8-year-old pension or something, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to sit there for ages and sell like a couple pounds of things, but like it's just a another stepping stone on the journey.
Isn't it funny that all the silly stuff that we've done along the way, we're proud of because things have worked out? But if we'd have fallen, you probably wouldn't be proud about the fact that we didn't a car boot sale or we did this, or we took an L. Like, taking L's, we're proud of L's we've taken because we come back for them.
Yeah.
If you don't come back for them, you're just a loser if you take an L and don't rebuild, aren't you?
That's why you got to keep trying. You can't give up.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people do. They try once, try twice, and they'll just.
Well, you never fail if you don't give up.
Yeah.
So if your business goes bust and you're still trying, you're still on your journey, you're still a businessman. You're a loser when you give up and you stop trying. That's a loser. See, I respect someone who takes L's, even fucking loses everything and gets back up on the horse. What I can't relate to is someone who doesn't even want to try. Someone who just thought, nah, like, that idea's been taken. Like, shut up. So many people come to me about like current business and they'll be like, oh, you do that, do you? I wish I'd thought of that. Like, shut up. There is literally people starting up day after day after day who are competing with me. Trust me, I know, because my margins are getting hit every day.
Yeah.
And you're telling me, like, oh, I wish I'd started a bit. Like, firstly, you don't know me like that. We're not loyal like that. You would go and start a business like that. So,
yeah, and you get ex-employees doing that, like, day in, day out.
But it's their little coping statement at a party. Like, oh, Shiraz has got a nice car. What do you do, Shiz? Oh, I wish I'd thought of that. Well, you still can.
Yeah.
No, they don't have it in them.
No.
Those people don't have it in them, man.
And what do you reckon it is?
They don't have the brain power, to be honest.
Yeah.
No. They don't have the willpower. They don't have the brain power. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to even start, honestly.
Yeah, starting
They never did a business on their own. There are people that are going to work for themselves always. You know what I mean? They're not... Yeah. They take direction. That's it. They don't know how to, like, build with their own time, focus, dedication. All those different things is not in them.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder what's the more valuable commodity. Is it brain power or is it like will?
I think you need both.
Both, yeah.
You need both. If you have willpower, but you don't know what you're doing, you need a partner that has that brain power. And sometimes when you do have partners, don't always do well, but I think partners do well when one is missing something like from the other. You know, like I've seen it in a way where one guy is like the person who goes out, finds new locations, and then the other one who's the one who builds the business. He's there day in, day out for 6 months, making sure that thing, is going in the right direction. Because that other guy who finds those locations, who finds, the business. Now I'm talking about retail in what I'm talking about. But yeah, in that situation, those two people, they wouldn't function without each other.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've spoken about this before. And it's like not letting your ego get in the way, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. If you're not smart enough, like, I don't know if you remember that My Love, My Killer program. There's that guy who became a millionaire for selling chicken huts. Like, he's a farmer and he's making chicken huts. And he worked so hard just building chicken huts, he became a millionaire, you know?
Yeah.
And he seemed as simple as they come, like brain power, not that great, but he just kept going,
Yeah. I think that there is something in that, is that you just keep going and you just keep trucking. And when you feel like you want to quit, you go, despite the fact that your brain's starting to second guess whether or not it's a good decision. Those people normally do all right. Yeah. But you get some people in some weird businesses where you're like, hang on, could you really make money out of selling that? But it's because they carried on doing it, whilst people like me thought, can you really make money selling that?
Yeah.
And then like suddenly he's making millions out of selling chicken hutches.
Yeah. It'd be something so simple, and most people won't even start because you dismiss it. Oh, this guy sells like cow dung or something, and you're like, how do you make money selling cow dung? But no one wants to do it,
Yeah. I think in the UK, I don't know about the USA, they make all the hurdles to get to business so high. Like opening a business account is so hard.
Oh yeah.
Just getting support or even being able to start a business is hard. Like, and it shouldn't be that complicated. It should be just buy for £1, sell for £2. But what they do is the government have this whole thing where they make it look like they're trying to help entrepreneurs, but they make it hard.
And what about tax? I feel like when you're an entrepreneur and you don't know about tax.
Oh, yeah.
It comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yes,
like
it
after.
does.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to pay the tax the right way, and you don't save. You spend more than what you have.
Yeah, because they're charging us.
At the end of the year when you have to pay the tax, you don't have it.
No, yeah. They just upped our corporation tax. So our corporation tax has gone from, I think it was 21% to 25%. And that's taxed on your profit for the year, not on your cash gain for the year. So people were already screwed, like cash-wise. They have all these bounce-back loans, and now they're upping the tax. I think it was a full move, really.
Yeah.
I think they should have taxed the earners more. They should tax the money actually going into the person's bank. Like taxing the businesses, they didn't have any cash anyway. They might have profit, but they have no cash.
And plus, when this is a business, and it's a loan, and you don't have to pay it back, you've got no liability, you're going to squander it. Everyone wants uniforms, let's do this, let's do that, let's redecorate, like things you don't need to do.
Yeah.
And as opposed to when money's tight and you have to run lean and you're, you're actually doing things to improve your business.
Yeah.
As opposed to just pissing money away.
Yeah, I think that these tax moves they've made, they're up into 25%. It sounds good for the papers, like we're going to claim more for businesses, but I don't think they've looked at like what that means practically. I think they've made it even harder for kids to start up again.
Yeah.
Like, I only know that I started up a business recently, and it took me 18 months to get a business account. And that never used to be the case.
Yeah, I had to keep chasing up to get my business account too.
I think I'm really about like brick and mortar stores.
Yeah.
Like rather than just like online or like you were saying, you just buy and then you sell. Like I used to be about just buy and then sell, but you know now my legit way is opening a brick and mortar store. And I personally feel like to be able to get a lease from a landlord is one of the hardest things.
Right.
Like you were mentioning, you know,
to
step into the business.
And how do you go about doing it?
Well, first of all, you have to have, you know, either a bank account or usually it's always reference. But the first reference is always the hardest to get. So the first time you get a landlord, you have to like literally find one that's like going to bless you.
Right.
I feel like. And then after that is you can grow from there.
So you're blessed now because you've obviously got the reputation of your other stores.
Definitely, I feel in a way, yeah, because now I can use that landlord as a reference, and you know I have a good reputation with him, and he will give me a reference, and I will be able to get another store if I want one.
But if you were starting up today, you think it'd be very, very tough.
Definitely, and especially in Manhattan, it's almost impossible to secure a lease without having a reference.
Oh yeah, because you're from Manhattan.
Even the money, like, what's the basic starting rent a month in Manhattan? Like $25K a month. So.
Yeah, I mean, for less than 1,500 square feet, it's about $25,000 a month.
Yeah. So you got money.
25,000 a month. 25,000 a month.
Yeah, less than 1,500 square feet.
How many square feet is this flat?
About probably 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Probably. So this would be like 20 grand.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah, but like different, you know, like a square box kind of shape. It feels different, right? But yeah,
real estate's crazy. Isn't
that's the size of my shop, 1,500 square feet. So 25K a month.
Real estate in New York, 1,500 foot.
Yeah.
Wow. And anyone knowing about starting a business in the UK, you want to listen to
and that's almost like in a middle space or a little bit higher in the middle. You know,
really?
But yeah. If you were in like Times Square or whatever, you forget it. It's like 75,000.
Okay, so 1,500 foot in Times Square, like
no,
size of the
Hershey. What I was telling you was like about Union Square, but like not just Union Square, like about a little like block and a half away from that. But if you went even closer, a block closer, yeah, you're talking about like 35, 40.
Okay, so you know the Hershey store in Times Square?
Yeah.
How much would that be?
I don't know the size of it, but I know where the location is. But that location's got to be like maybe don't quote me on it, but I think about $500-600 a square foot. Because I know on the corner of Fifth Avenue and 14th Street they're asking $400 a square foot.
I bought a huge when I went to New York. It's like this was like 15 years ago. I bought a huge like brick of Hershey's chocolate. It lasted 3 years in the fridge. It was like each block was like crazy. Break your teeth on it.
Yeah. I bought some stuff from New York too. It's lasted forever.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff's going online now, right? So.
Yeah, we get everything here now, but before it was like a
I meant
black market.
I'm just talking about like getting this retail space in stores. You know, I don't know how worth it is and how long this how long it's going to be that high the rent. And a lot of these landlords, they'll let the stores go empty because otherwise it lowers the cost of their the value of their building.
Right.
And somehow I'm not even sure exactly how they do it.
I see.
Yeah, they'll let the place be empty for a whole year rather than rent it out for cheaper.
Is that because they're in a consortium or are they taking that as an individual decision?
No, they're also like that. I feel they're all kind of connected, but not just because they're connected, but because that will lower the value of their building. They own so many buildings that if one thing goes if they don't rent it out and they lose that money, somehow they can use that as a tax write-off.
Right, I see.
Those are different there with tax.
And then as they start to get vacant, if they're not careful and they start lowering it, destroy the whole property market.
Yes.
So they're almost like fooling themselves a little bit.
Yes, if they rent that $25,000 square foot store, $25,000 store for like 15, the whole building's value goes down. Right.
Okay. I guess there's method in it. What would you do? Do you think their strategy's right? I mean,
they're definitely right, man.
Yeah?
They know what they're doing. These guys are professionals, man.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the vacancies like? Is there a lot of vacancies?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I think there's going to be a lot more coming up soon. And at the moment, most of them are all these smoke shops that took over all the vacant shops.
Well, the vape shops, yeah?
Yeah, that they're
weed
selling
just
marijuana.
became legal in NY.
Has it?
Yeah, it's legal now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they took over, and they're not even selling it legally in those shops, and they're still getting away with it.
Really?
Yeah, and they opened up like 1,500 shops. So all those 1,500 shops, if they put them out of business now, we're going to lose all that revenue.
Mad. Did any of those puff bar shops set up too? Like vapes?
That's all the shops I'm talking about.
Is it?
Yeah.
So weed and vapes, like
together,
two different ones, yeah. Right. There was kids on the playground that you said made hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
pounds.
there's kids made thousands of puffballs when they were like kind of illegal.
Yeah.
Just importing them straight from Alibaba and selling them at school.
What's your views on like starting up businesses now?
Well, when we were talking about the government making stuff hard, I've obviously just sold my lease, and the kid who's moved in, straight away, bang, £6,000 tax bill for business rates,
Yeah.
And then I was telling him, oh, there's £400 for the year for building insurance, and he's like, oh, it's so hard, so many bills. I go, yeah, everything's against you, you're going to have to work against all of it. You thought it was going to be easy?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be easy, but I wasn't expecting so many bills, like 12 bills from just getting into a retail shop,
It's mad, isn't it?
It's hard, yeah.
And like you just start a shop, and before you get going, you've got like a huge amount of money going out every month that you've got to cover.
That's the hardest part, having enough money to be able to be non-profitable for like, what, a year, 6 months, whatever it takes.
People don't keep that money. They have to start with that money ahead of time. They need to know they're going to have to pay their rent from their pocket for like up to a year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But most people, like when I took my shop on, I didn't have a year's rent, I had like...
Yeah, but that's a lot of those people that you got lucky where you didn't go under. But the people that don't keep that year rent ready to pay with, from their bank account, those are the people that close up shop.
I guess that's why so many people are hesitant to start, because they don't have the, Because a normal person who's like not very risk adverse, they'll be like, I want at least 200k, so I've got 5 years rent, and if it goes wrong, blah, 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 blah. And then they think, do I really want to lose 200k,
Yeah. Well, I noticed that a lot of people have a relationship to money. I'm not sure what your relationship is to money, Sal, but like, I think me and Shiz, at least, I don't speak for you, but my relationship is that you are going to take L's and you've got to be prepared to lose it all, to gain it all, haven't you? So like, I think you get a lot of these people, especially in England, is they're so cagey with their savings. The same kind of people, like if you ask to borrow money or you ask for something, they don't want a part of any of it. They hold on to it like it's their life, like it's their entire being. And those same people, if you ask them to put their life savings up on a business where you don't know if it's going to work or not, I don't think they'd be at peace if it didn't. So because they got that attachment to money where if it lost, it would be their life ending, it's not a good move for them to even try, You need to be understanding that life is a monopoly board and that you're playing this shit. And as long as you've got enough monopoly money to eat, that if you lose it, you lose it.
What is it? Fortune favors the...
Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah. You were just saying yesterday.
Yeah, it's definite, isn't it?
And that's what it is, exactly what it is.
And
higher risk, higher reward, really.
And misfortune also dances with the brave too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
So what's the biggest L you ever took, and how?
Biggest L. So there's two relative ones. One was early days in China. I started doing well with this one product, and what happened, right? Is the iPad 2 had just been released, and I was selling iPad cases at the time on Amazon, and they were selling in big volume. And I found this case, and I couldn't get any more. I only had 100 of it, and we were selling them at $9.95, making a couple of pound a unit.
Yeah.
And I put the price up to $14.95 to maximise the limited amount of stock that I had left. Anyway, $14.95, suddenly they started selling more. And I was selling more than the competition who was selling the same product. So then I was like, shit, we're selling too fast. Put them to $17.95, we put them to $17.95, they started selling faster. Then I put them to $19.95, and they went crazy. We started back ordering like crazy. So I was like, right, okay, keep selling them. We need to get the money because there's so much profit here. Then I make $100,000 for cases, all using customer deposits that I've got. I send it over to China. The stock comes, and then when it comes, none of it fits. I take an emergency flight to China.
I was with you, yeah.
About 10 years ago. And when I got there, I'd taken like 10 examples of the worst cases. I went to this factory. Shiz had gone to the fair, I think. And I'd gone out with my friend. And I went with my supplier to this. My supplier is basically an agent. I went with my agent to the factory, and he was kind of like my guy over there who knew the ropes. I didn't know China very well, and I had 10 examples of the worst cases. And I said, look, here, none of these cases work. We tried them on, suddenly all of them work. And I'm like, I owe $100,000. Yeah, I owed $100,000. It's on tick, and I was like, oh no, I need to go back to my hotel. He's trying to switch them. So I immediately get defensive. I said, you switch those cases. I got the worst examples in the UK. None of them fitted.
Yeah,
I then go back to I went back to my hotel room, and
switched it on you.
No one switched it. The story gets crazy, right? And then I go back to my hotel room. I was staying in this crappy hotel. There was no windows.
There was a window, but they built so close to it, it was like a gap. Do you remember? The next building, there's a window, but the minute you open, there's another cement wall in front of the window.
And it had all these crappy cartoons painted on the wall. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I went in, and all the cases fitted again. And that night, me and Shiz are chilling, and I'm getting these messages from my supplier, and he's saying, I need to get money. The suppliers want money. You need to give me money now. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm in China, and I need to come up with $100,000. I phone back home. The only money I can come back with $15,000 to just keep the walls away from the door. I give him 15 grand. That keeps him quiet. I get onto a plane, get back home. This is funny. I'm talking about it's like it's an hour, but it was an hour for a little while. But we recovered from it. And in the end, we got back home, and then they didn't fit again. I was like, what the hell's going on? And it turned out that the humidity in China was making the case fit. And then my supplier goes to me, oh, I sent him a video, and I was like, look, they work when they're hot. And he goes, well, you can sell them in the summer. I said, look, my customers aren't going to want cases that only work
iPad freezing to be up as well.
Yeah. So in the end, he ate half, the 50,000, and I ate half. So that was the earliest out. It nearly went me bankrupt.
You should have just printed out some cards which would heat up with a hairdryer.
Yeah.
So it tightens up, like, sell it as like a good point, like, this is super tight, warm it up, and then, stuck on your iPad for life, it doesn't fall off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean? That's a good shout.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's the biggest loss I took early days. I'll say about another one later. What about you?
And then Sal go first.
I'm not even ready for it. I don't even know. I've been trying to come up with something.
Yeah, so mine was that Bitcoin trade, basically. A lot of money down the pan. But yeah.
What happened?
I went to just do the normal Bitcoin transaction where we swapped tokens with someone else back in the day before Bitcoin was like on exchanges and stuff. And basically it was like it's called a double spend. Basically, someone sent it to me. You send them the money. Cool. It was like 40k. Sent them the money.
£40,000.
Yeah. Sent them the money, and I was in a rush. I looked at my phone, one confirmation, and I was like, all right, cool. I got to go. I was in central London, so I was in a rush. And I went outside, was driving, looked at my phone again. It just sent straight back out, and I was like, what's happened here? And I was carried on with my day. There's nothing you could do about it.
How did you sort it? How did you sort it mentally?
Mentally, well, I just got to believe everything happens for a reason, take it as a lesson, and just keep it moving. The more time you waste thinking about it, the less time you think about how you're going to make it back or what's the next step. I think you got to make peace with it quick, otherwise you'll be tearing your hair out. You can't sleep, all those things.
Yeah, you need to make a quick decision in your head and say, can I get this back? Can I fix it? No. Is there any recovery here? No. Okay, make peace fast.
Yeah.
Because there's no good having that shit inside you, is it?
Yeah, it's just a logic. How long? If I can't do anything about it, why am I stressing?
Yeah.
And people struggle to do that, but once you master that, life becomes a lot less stressful. Because you get people tearing their hair about stuff for months or years. They still talk about it. But it kind of clouds your judgment, doesn't it? A lot, the anger and what could I have done differently? Yeah, I could have, but I didn't.
And we've talked about this before, but those kind of events seem to happen just as things are going well. Do you find that?
Yeah. Yeah, have a few clean months, clean years, no losses, and then what it is complacency. You get real comfortable, I wouldn't ever rush something as big as that, And I rushed it, and the second thing was I got this new guy who sells Bitcoin, this, that, and over. I'm thinking of future business and making more money. This guy wants the same as me.
Yeah.
But really, people are scum me all the time. Everyone's against you,
Yeah.
Everyone's your enemy. If they're not your friend, they're your enemy, pretty much.
I even had one very recently, and it wasn't an L. It was my own mistake, and it was, again, greed that does it. It's always greed.
Yeah.
It's always greed. And what happened is there was this product where the heavy price for, it's a heavy unit price, so it's £100 a unit. I could sell it for $130 or something. And so it's decent, but if you buy 1,000 units, 1,000, also with this product, a company could come and buy 100, 200, 300, no problem. So they need big volume. But also to have that amount of stock, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I bought 1,000 right when it was in constraint, so a lot of money, and then suddenly they just dropped off a cliff. And now I'm just left holding the stock. And the reason I bought 1,000 is because I was like, we're going into Chinese New Year, and there's no way I don't want to get that profit. And now I'm there, now I'm having to drop the price just to incentivize people buying. It was all my greed. It's always greed.
Greed's the thing, innit? I literally wrote it down on a piece of paper, when you see in green in your eyes, just chill out, take a step back. It's and plus, especially with stuff like that, my thing was low markup. I'm making 8%, 5%, whatever. So it's not even worth it. Where you're putting down that much money to get a 5% return, you're better off playing it safe with big amounts.
Yeah.
Would you say £100 to make 30 quid?
Yeah, £100 to make 30 quid.
Yeah.
And then what happened is the supplier did some tricks on me. Well, not tricks. She just goes, you should order more because you're not going to buy this stock for another 8 weeks, which turned out to be false as well because they were available quicker. And she managed to put enough panic and greed into me that I was like, just do it.
That word panic right there. That also does it.
Yeah,
that's always a telltale sign of a scam as well. When someone's rushing you, make a decision now. If you think about all the times you're on holiday and there's a street scam, quickly buy this or this is going to run out. That sense of FOMO and that sense of panic. that's when you get scammed, you know?
Arnold Rothstein in Boardwalk Empire says a really cool quote. Have you seen Boardwalk Empire?
Mm-mm.
It's actually from your neck of the woods. It's
Really?
all in Manhattan, but back in the 1920s for
Okay, I gotta see
the
that.
Prohibition. And it's Lucky Luciano. He's early doors at this point, before he becomes like the boss that he becomes. He's making all these mistakes. He's just young and hungry. And he's trying to tell Arnold Rothstein he needs to buy a load of this heroin or something that this other rival gang has got. And he goes, look, if he's pushing you, a deal will always wait and a fool will always rush in.
Yeah.
And like,
So
I can
true,
never
so
see
true.
every time that things are...
Sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh, Russian. Nice.
And there are exceptions to the rule, but most of the things that we think can't wait, can't wait. And and the times where we fall on our ass is when we've rushed in.
You know what, that rushed in, that speed thing, doing stuff with speed, like pandemic, is an example of you need speed, you know? Stuff was like moving like that, you know? Mask shortage, sanitizer shortage, like people who waited. In that game you had to, but again, the same outcome, you know, that was a big L on it.
That was my biggest L. So I had gone to, well, we'd found a supplier in Turkey, and I started buying some gloves. It was right when nitrile gloves were like really, really hot. And it was an opportunity to make big money. And again, greed sets in. I buy 1,000 boxes, they come smooth. And then I buy 10,000 boxes. And I think the first, and bear in mind, a box is about £9. So the next one is like £90,000. Yeah, £90,000.
Yeah, it was, the first one was a small order and it came on time, I remember. And, there's a few boxes short on it, which was like, okay, you could let that go.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you miss a few because we need this stuff so bad.
Yeah.
And then the next one.
What's a few?
Like 3 or 4 boxes.
Yeah, 3 or 4 boxes on 1,000. I think
Okay.
we had 1,000 boxes
Yeah.
and they came a few short.
Okay,
And then the next, we only got like 1,000 of the 10,000. But because I got 1,000, I just thought, it's delivery delays, whatever. And I kept having all these customers, literally, with hundreds of thousands of pounds of
I
cash.
remember you selling like crazy.
People would hit me up on LinkedIn, like, yo, can I buy some? I'm like, we haven't got the other stuff, but I guess. And then I would speak to the guy, and he would give me some, like, oh, well, you need to reserve it. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, do it.
Yeah.
So then I think I was into him for 272,000 in back orders. And then he just disappeared off the face of the earth. I lost 272 grand. And for a second, for 2 months, it was mad, right? I don't know if in the camera you can see that car. That car is called the Mercedes SLS Gullwing, and I got it on loan. I loaned the money right when I ordered a plane of PPE, and my dad goes to me, oh, this is cool because you just got a Gullwing car right at the time that you're getting a plane fly you in all the PPE. And then, lo and behold, the plane doesn't come, and I'm 130 grand in debt. And then I'm like, everything I liked about the car, I literally just put it on Instagram. Everything I liked about it, I was like, I resent this thing. I hate this thing. Now it reminds me of the things I've done so bad. And I was real stressed about it. But it took about
buyer's
3
remorse.
months. Yeah, buyer's remorse.
You always get that, don't you?
Yeah.
You buy something expensive
So
and
the
then
guy
you lose money.
disappeared.
Disappeared. But
He was stupid though. He was real stupid. Like I remember I FaceTimed him and he's holding his driving license, and we had a screenshot of him holding his driving license with his full name on it, and had all his real name, his real phone number, and everything on there. Like it's almost like he didn't plan to scam, but like it was just a scam.
And he got around $1.5 million off of other people. One person got done for 500 grand. Yeah, they reached out to me.
Nothing happened to him.
I think they're pressing against him now, but they were trying to get me involved, and they were like, can you help press charges? But again, I didn't think no money was going to get recovered, and I thought I don't want to waste time trying to chase after the past, because I do think that these things, you can chase after bad money and never get anywhere, and the whole time not progress, so I just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
But these guys, he'd spent 2 years chasing this $500,000, and obviously $500,000 is a crazy amount of money, but if he had $500,000 to lose on a single transaction, I would hazard to guess that 2 years chasing a single transaction isn't worth his time.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's easy to be like, this is $500,000, but hang on, you had $500,000 to lose. This sounds like you're going to cause yourself cancer from stress if you keep chasing this.
Yeah.
Stress is a bad thing to even get swallowed up by.
Yeah, every time you lose that sort of money,
that's a whole nother topic. Stress.
When you lose a big bit of money, like I never thought I'd lose that sort of money in like 5 minutes, you know. But you had to make that in the first place. So every time, even when I lost like 5 grand before, I'd be like, oh, that's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you lose 100 quid when you're a kid, you're like, shit, I lost a lot of money. So it's all subjective, you know? So it's kind of, you're going in the right direction if you're losing bigger and bigger money every time.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
And you're less attached to it as well because you don't mind putting it up to lose it.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't want to take any risk, you just leave it in your bank. And that's it.
But
you're not going to go anywhere.
That feeling when you first know, like, when I remember I got a message from the guy who was helping me facilitate the cash getting sent over to Turkey, and he goes, we've got a problem. Our friend isn't responding. And I go, how much of the money that I sent you has he got? And he said, all of it. And I was like, whew. And I remember I was in a meeting, and I didn't want to speak to the other guys because I knew they'd be panicked. So I was there, like, I know that we just lost 272 grand, but the other guys who were also, one of them, well, two of them are partners, and I was like, they were like, "You're right." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I got to do some stuff." And I was like, my cogs are going. I'm like, no.
Did you just go to the bathroom and scream like, ah?
I was pacing in the meeting room, and I was like, this is bad. And I was trying to run napkin maths, and I was like, right, okay, if I refund this guy, shit, I'm 300 grand in a hole. So because I'd taken all these customer deposits, and also I had some cash left over, but these guys didn't want refunds. And I had no supply. So not only did I get robbed, I had no supply chain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took me...
That's the worst part, when you lose the supply chain and the money. Because, you know, if you've got supply chain, I'll have to do 10 more deals to make that money back to pay this person. But now you've lost supply, you've got no way of making money. Yeah, my own thing too, yeah.
Bro,
exactly the same.
Mad, right? I lost my supply in the same way like a girl or a boy who gets cheated on and wants to get back with the other person. When he was telling me, or I saw him advertising gloves still, I was like, oh, could someone message him under a burner account? Because I know he had some to give me and I'd still need him. And like, as if he wouldn't have robbed me again, but I was so desperate. I'm like, maybe I could trick the trickster to get some more than what I had.
It didn't make sense, because it was really weird how it was happening, because he was still messaging me just less. And then he messaged me, right? He goes, can you get A4 paper? I go, well, probably, I don't know, have a look. And he's like, there's a supplier, blah, blah, can you speak to him? So I spoke to the supplier. He wanted a load of A4 paper sent to Turkey. And he's like, okay, can you do this? I was like, yeah, cool. So I arranged it with the thing. I sent him an invoice from myself. And then he sent me money, like, while he's trying to scam James. He sent me money for A4 paper. And then he's like, after he sent me the money, like, it's become obvious he's not sending any more gloves. Because we gave him the benefit of the doubt for a long time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, nah, maybe it's got delayed. Because the way he was getting gloves is, at the time, the only country which really had gloves were, like, Turkey and a few other countries. But the Turkish government said you have to give 1 pair of gloves to the hospital for every, like, 10 you sell. So they were driving out to, like, Syria or something, like, to the no-fly zone to dodge that VAT or duty or whatever it is. So it was kind of like black market anyway, the way we were getting them. And so we thought, okay, maybe there's a delay and this, that, and the other. There was tracking and all sorts on there. And, so then he sent me the money, and he's like, where's the paper? Can I get tracking and stuff? I'm like, hold on, you scammed my friend. We're going to take this off. What's going on? And then he's like, oh, you scammed me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this guy's got some audacity.
I know. How much did you recover from him?
That was like 4K, I think, 3K.
That's not enough.
Like $3-4K as well, not pounds.
And he was complaining that he got scammed?
Yeah.
And what was his response when you said you scammed my friend?
He goes, no, you are wrong. You scammed me. Please send paper and shit. And I don't know.
He just acted like nothing?
Yeah, like we were the bad guys.
And
he blocked you? What did he do? He never responded to you?
No, I ended up blocking him because he just kept... After I got 20 grand of our money back, I can't remember how we got it back. Like,
you had some like crazy customer who put up in like a G63, I remember, and bought the gloves, and he turned out to be Turkish.
And had some connection over there, and he sent them over. Yeah.
He sent somebody over to him?
Well, he knew someone in the local area, sent his friend over there, and like, I think just because he was like, oh, someone is actually going to turn up at my door. And yeah, he gave us 20 grand back. But
20 out of 272?
Yeah, 20 out of 272. But you know, at that point, I was 20 more than I ever thought I'd get back.
Yeah, of course.
That feels great when you get something back, you know?
Yeah. So, and then the guy who had got it back, he was like, give me that 20 and I'll give you half of it back once I got the rest. I was like, no. He's giving me 20, I'm holding the 20. I didn't even expect any money to come back.
Yeah, you got right off real quick. Yeah. And anything from that point is a bonus.
And how did he send you the 20 back?
He sent it via dollars, via the person who I'd been sending the money to.
Oh,
no, I think it was the guy who had gone out to speak to him in Turkey got it. Yeah, it was a messy situation.
But when the deals land, that feeling is too good.
Oh man, it's so good.
Right? And, I mean, and not just gloves or any kind of situation. Yeah, because when you get your iPad cases, whatnot, finding that new connection is just too amazing.
Yeah, what's an example of when you had that and you got it right and you're like, holy shit, I'm
For me, I sell stones. I sell crystals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I make connections in, like, Pakistan, for, like, this fading quartz, or the lapis, or even from China, I have a really good supplier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I get, like, $50,000 on the arm.
Oh, what, on single orders?
Huh? No, I mean, like, I place whatever I want.
Yeah.
And then he'll, like, send it to me up to $50,000 without payment.
Oh, nice.
And that's, like, one of the best connections I've made, you know? So.
That's so cool. When you get those kinds of connections where you have, like, a handshake agreement with someone overseas.
I don't have to pay for, like, 6 months either sometimes. So.
Really?
Yeah.
6 months?
Yeah, no, even a year.
That's amazing.
Too cool, man.
Isn't it cool when
and
someone
you never met them as well? Yeah.
I never even met the guy, and he's like younger than me.
That's amazing.
And he's super cool.
Don't you think some of the greatest bonds? Do you ever have this on like social media and stuff? You just got people you chat shit with.
Yeah.
You don't know, but you regard them as a friend because you're close like that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's really. I know. I got that with my supplier as well. I met him a few times. My supplier in China, but same thing.
I mean, at the moment, I haven't been talking to him because I haven't been purchasing as much. But you know, over the years, I spoke to him more than I spoke to some other people in my life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Isn't it?
So you know him a lot of years.
Yeah, I knew him for a lot of years now. Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I haven't even purchased from him in like I'd say even a whole year. But if I text him now, he'll send me whatever I want, and he'll even go look for it. You know, some of these connections that you find are just too good.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. I tell you what, I've got a bit like that. Who's called Anwar.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing PPE, I would lend him money, and I hadn't spoken to him in 2 years, but I would just give him tip because I know he's always good.
It's good, isn't it? Like when you fly straight and you got other people who fly straight.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, you haven't spoken to him in like a year. If you're really broke and a scumbag, you'd be like, yo, I need 50K worth of whatever quartz or whatever you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
And you can scum that person, and they can't even get you. They didn't know anything about you. They just know your shipping address.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it, but you don't because, you know, you've got that good mentality, which is kind of rare. Because most people, you know, like even friends, they could ignore you over like £20, you know?
Yeah. And seeing them grow too is nice.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean? That's the cool part.
Growing together is cool, isn't it?
Growing together.
Yeah, he had that. The first time we went to China with you, your supplier had like a Honda or something, and then when you went back, a couple of years later, he's got like an S-Class long wheelbase.
Yeah, long wheelbase. Yeah, sick. And because like he's my supplier and this is his new car, even though obviously it's his car, I kind of like sat in it like, oh, I'm proud that he's got this. Like I was thinking, like, this is comfy, man. This is our car in a way, even though it's his car. Like I get to enjoy it when I go over there. Yeah. It's his money, but like it's comfier being in there. And I'm like, cool, we've done this. And the same when he comes over here, he gets to sit in a nicer car when he visits UK, and like it's almost not in the same way, but like you know when you got a wife that you're enjoying each other's asses that you built up together with someone like that even though you're technically on different teams, but you are on the same team.
Yeah. It's cool that you both got to see each other because he must have seen you when you were a kid. See your Facebook post, you got the Mini. Now you got the C63, now you got the Lambo, and he's gone from the Honda to the S-Class or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and even I remember last time he was like willing to split losses with you and stuff, you know, like brothers almost.
Yeah,
it's a cool agreement.
My supplier was driving BMW now too.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
that's sick. And I think as well, like in China, the way that everything's going, like CBDC, all this kind of stuff, is I also have genuine concern for him, you know, and his well-being.
I didn't even understand that. What do you mean by that?
Like the central bank and digital currency.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know how much of that you guys want.
She's been telling me about that.
Yeah, I don't even know how much we're allowed to even talk about or whatnot. But just, I find it super interesting about how many rules and restrictions they're having over there that I worry that I might not be able to go over to China again, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, I get scared as well. Like some things I've shared on Instagram, like about the Uyghurs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you think, there's so much tech out there. They scan everyone's social. They know everything about you when you hit the border, don't they? Even in America, like, oh, you're arrested in this state, or you know, you posted this on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you're sat there like, I was having a bad day, and I wrote some shit about Biden. Now I'm not allowed in America.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
like
it's crazy.
And I think you as well. We'll always be respectful when we go to someone else's country.
Yeah.
But just, I worry that someone could take an opinion the wrong way, you know? Especially in these like totalitarian governments. I mean, to be honest, we're a totalitarian government.
Yeah, almost every government is.
Yeah. Crazy, especially US.
Yeah.
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 Does that worry you about going back?
In what way?
Like what Shiz is saying about the Biden tweets or like Instagram stuff. Would you go back as a visitor?
Me? Probably. I don't know, I think there's too much people who talk shit about it, you know? Like journalists, reporters, like you got Americans like Tucker Carlson with influence. Joe Rogan talking shit about the government and the country. And they're not worried. Like, we're kind of small fries with like 10 likes.
What are you be worried about?
I think, obviously...
You have nothing to worry about, man.
Nah.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's a sliding scale because right now, what's happening is they're getting these people who are really speaking out. And I think in time what will happen is as those like top big fish have been taken out, it will just start to become the people who don't agree with the way things are going. And like, in the end, if this continues sliding to where it's going to go, I think anyone who doesn't go with the program is going to be locked out, unable to use their card, unable to spend money. I think that's what happened with CBDC. It's just not angled in that way because what happens is they have all the power then. And I think when that happens, they could kill your passport, kill your card, kill anything.
It seems crazy to you, but if you look into it, in China it already happens. They've got like an app on their phone, and if you jaywalk on a road, the facial recognition grabs you, and it will deduct like $10 from your account before you've even got home.
I gotta confirm this, bro.
No, this is facts. And on top of that, if you tweet or write something they don't like, so they got WeChat over there, and if you type in Xi Jinping, there's like there's no negative results for him because they've wiped everything. And if you write anything about him, they'll deduct your social score. So, and then once you've got this bad score, other people won't want to go near you because if they hang out with someone else with a bad score, their score gets lower too. And in the future, that'll probably have access. Like, oh, you can't come into cinema. You've got a low score. You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
it's like a credit score. You can't have a bank with this because you've got a low social score.
Well, it's happening kind of not that exactly, but at Madison Square Garden, the owner, he's getting sued by a bunch of people.
Why?
For different lawsuits, anything. But anyone who works for those law firms that are suing him, they're not allowed to come into his venue.
Right.
And his venue is like the New York Knicks, the Rangers, all those stuff. So it's becoming big, and now they want to take away his liquor license. They're saying that we're gonna take your liquor license if you're not gonna allow anyone into your stadium because it should be like open to the public.
See, that's basically what they're doing, but they're doing it for the country, and that's where it's going to go. So that's kind of a dicey one because he's a private business owner, but the government are starting with the CBDC. They will start acting like private business owners for the free country, and that's the danger.
No, I see what you're saying now, but this was kind of like putting it into perspective. Like,
yeah.
So he's always got facial recognition cameras at all.
So as soon as you walk in, if you're going to see a game, and so this lady was going to see some kind of like concert at another place that he owns, she was like chaperoning all the kids.
Yeah.
And even though she was just a chaperone, she still wasn't allowed in.
Right.
And she was like a big time lawyer for one of these firms, and I think she's one of the reasons that they went so hard.
Right.
And they're saying that she's somehow connected to the New York Liquor Authority, and they came down hard on this guy, and they're trying to say that if he doesn't, allow everybody inside, we're going to take away liquor. But then that guy went ahead and was like, all right, I just won't serve liquor at the games, and everyone's going to be pissed.
Oh, so he didn't care.
He's so crazy. He even filed like his own lawsuit again, like with the judge and everything. He's like, they're taking this too far.
From your opinion, then, as a Yankee, who's in the wrong?
I don't know, man. From a business owner standpoint, I think he's allowed to do what he wants to do, man. Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, I get what you're trying to tell me, that like if the government starts doing that, then we're getting into something that's scary.
Because a private person is allowed to refuse this entrance to your own club, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I've had things before where I've been told that even if somebody steals from my store, or if somebody creates problems in my store, that I'm not allowed to tell them they're not allowed to come back. But that's not true. I'm allowed to tell them they're not allowed to come back. You can ban anyone from your private business, right? Yeah, but I mean, I've had police officers tell me that I'm not allowed to do it in my face. And I'm telling them, are you kidding me? Yes, you're not allowed. If I tell this guy he's not allowed to come back, he's not allowed to come back. And I wouldn't do that just like randomly. But, some of these people, they're not there as a customer. They're there to like...
It's not safe to have them there.
They're not safe to have them there. They're just like using profanity or being racist and things like that.
Do you think the public have any right to be taken aside? Or it's not for them to judge? What's your opinion?
I think that the public is like ruthless in a way. I think the public can like ruin a business or ruin a person when they're not supposed to be ruined.
They can also make a business as well.
Yeah.
It's like TikTok viral.
Of course they can, but I think that also, and we're talking about something negative, and I think that it could get out of hand.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you reckon, Shiz?
Yeah, same. Cancel culture is crazy, isn't it? You can say
that's
the wrong
exactly
thing.
what it is, bro. Cancel culture. You have the better words for it than what I
know local guys. I don't want to name the business out of respect to them, but I saw they have a fur coat business, and they've got some reviews, and the reviews aren't from customers; they're reviews from people who don't like the fact they sell fur. Like, you're trying to destroy the business. I get it. You don't like the idea they're selling fur, but why are you trying to wreck someone's livelihood? Like, this is someone someone that you'll have to run into on the high street, and you're trying to take money out of their mouth. They've had the balls to go start a business, and you're trying to write bad reviews. You're trying to throw shade. I don't believe it's because you care about the fur. I think that you're jealous.
Yeah, they don't want to see someone else local. Is it local people leaving reviews? Oh, so it's not even like someone far away. It's someone who lives in the same area.
I could be wrong.
That's crazy, but yeah, it's just jealousy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't really care that much about the fur, do they?
Nah.
Do you care enough to go online and write a review? And it's only because you see them locally making money.
Yeah.
And they're selling fur like something you can bash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Virtue is a crazy, crazy thing. Because I saw Jordan Peterson saying this, and this is the same thing with virtue, is it doesn't make you a good person just because you don't do that. And he was talking about violence, but it comes to anything as well, Like, you have someone just getting angry. Have you ever had someone, a poor person, says, oh, that person doesn't give enough away to charity? Like, shut up.
Dude, you're going like so down this path that I just need to. I don't know if this relates or it doesn't relate, but you know what's happening. You've been talking about how crazy I want to say New York is getting, but maybe it's the U.S. or the world in general. But I have a pizza shop nearby, next door to me, next door to my business, and the guy is telling me it's so hard to conduct business for him, where he's like has homeless people coming in and asking for food, and if they don't give him food, they'll like break his window or they'll do things like that. Now there's another woman who walked into his place, and either she didn't like the way he spoke, he just didn't give her the right treatment, or he probably gave her fine treatment, but she probably wanted something free. I don't remember exactly what it is, but pretty sure she wanted something free, and she went out. She came back with like 2-3 other girls, came inside the shop and started screaming like, "There's rats! There's rats!" Like that's freaking cancel culture, man. She's trying to, kind of do that.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Trying to ruin someone's livelihoods.
And you shouldn't do it anywhere, but it's not like you're doing it to McDonald's. You're doing it to a family business. Like, where do you get off?
That's exactly what it is. It's family business.
There's that same clip. There was a guy outside a pizza shop, and there was a homeless guy literally on the street, and he's got a jet wash, and he's spraying the guy. Did anyone see that?
I haven't seen it.
So there's a pizza shop, and he's spraying this homeless guy or meth addict or something who's outside his shop.
I saw something like that, but it was like a freezing cold day, and the guy threw water on him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was hot. I think this is LA. And,
Was it just?
What's that? Yeah, like 2 months ago maybe. And then there was a lot of outrage, like, oh, look, he's spraying a homeless person, but like, these people are like camping outside his shop, sleeping outside his shop, stealing from his shop, like shooting up meth or heroin outside his shop and like collapsing, and he's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're looking for a reason. If a woman came in, smacked out of her head into that pizza shop, and the guy just pushed her out as he would be in his rights to, people would just like, he pushed a woman, like, whoa, no, I got rid of a druggie who was stealing from the shop.
Yeah.
But they just want to find a reason why they can go after the person, like, well, you've got a shop and you've got money, like, it's okay for you, you shouldn't throw that girl out, or that homeless, like, yeah, he is homeless, but that's not his identity, he's a thief.
Yeah.
He's a criminal.
Yeah, and you don't know what the guy does after hours. Like maybe he does help people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's people with businesses who feed homeless people. They send their leftover food or they cook a certain amount, but they don't want a homeless person like doing mad shit in their shop. Like stealing or like sleeping on the sofa in there. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's obviously not every business, but rule of thumb, I think most family businesses are giving back to the community in a lot of ways.
Definitely.
So when people have these like pig-headed views, they don't understand what they're saying. They want a reason to say that guy's the villain, and the way that they got that shop, the way that he has his bricks and mortar shop at $25,000 a month is because he fucks over X and Y,
Yeah.
They want to believe that you're doing something unfair. That's just the way human nature is ratty, isn't it? Like
crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
Literally. They want to pull someone else down.
People from England are so bad for it. I had a guy, right, he goes to me, oh, that key's the same shitty key they use from Audi. Like, bro, I don't give a shit if my Lamborghini key is the same key they use from Audi. Like, why do you care? That wouldn't even come out of the mouth of someone who was like at peace and secure with what they have.
Does he have a Lambo?
Yeah, he actually does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, people wouldn't find a reason to throw shade,
Yeah. That one didn't seem like such a hateful angle if he's got one.
Yeah.
But like, I know people always try to find an angle to diss something, like your cup holder.
Yeah.
Like, you got the cup holder which barely works.
Yeah, they
Lambo. And people are like, oh, you should have got a Ford, or you should have got this, you should have got that.
Yeah.
And this is why I wouldn't buy a Lambo. Like, hold on, you can't even afford a Lambo. And you're just saying that because you want to get one up on this guy.
And then I had a load of comments on that video on TikTok, and it said, if you got to worry about £800 for a cup holder, you can't afford a Lambo. Like, bro, I can afford the cup holder. I'm just saying, when I spend £800 for a cup holder, I expect it to work. Like, it's not rocket science. And like, oh, you don't buy a Lambo for the cup holder. Bro, I buy a cup holder to put a drink in it. What the fuck do you think I buy it for?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. A Lamborghini's not known for its cup holders, but also I wouldn't have got a cup holder if it wasn't going to work, idiot.
Yeah.
But people are just... I think everyone wants a reason to snub. Do you ever get it from your car? People will be like, oh, you should have done this or should have done that.
Oh, yeah, so my mum's got a VW up, and I wrapped my car obviously blue, but hers is like a similar colour.
Yeah.
And I went to see her at work once, and I parked up in the park, and there's like loads of other people taking pictures, and then someone walked past saying, imagine getting a car like that, and it's the same colour as this one here. Like, if you be up and you just like, roll your eyes, like, oh, whatever.
People are idiots. And it's always jealousy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think if anyone's got something negative to say to you, it comes from beneath. Elon Musk doesn't have any opinions about us.
Yeah.
I think, maybe I value money differently, but like buying a Lambo for X amount of dollars and buying a cup holder for X amount of dollars, it hurts, man. I could tell you it hurts. It's weird. Like I could spend the money on something, but spending the money, even $2 on something else, I'm just different like that.
Yeah.
Somebody else might not be, but I am.
Yeah, for sure. And like we talk about these L's that we've taken, they're big L's. I bought this tracksuit the other day, and I accidentally bought a large in the hoodie, and that was too big. And I'm not even kidding you, because it was like an amateur mistake to make.
Yeah.
I got back to the hotel because I thought I picked up 2 M's. I wanted to punch a wall because it was 2 hours away from the train. I thought, all that way, and it's £100 down the drain. I had to buy another hoodie, and only for £100. I'd never been so annoyed. Like, how did I make such a stupid mistake?
Yeah.
So it's not just me, man.
Yeah, people are selectively cheap about stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You gotta make your choice on what you're gonna spend your money on.
Yeah. People are like, even like when we've been out, like we're not paying for that. But something else. Oh yeah, cool, we'll get that. No problem. And it's like 10 times the cost.
Yeah.
It's got to be like value to you,
That's
I don't want to feel like I'm getting robbed.
Yeah. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And like if I feel like someone's making an idiot of me, I don't like it. Like we could give away £100 and it'd be okay. If I feel like I get my pants pulled out for £100.
But like, I don't know if this is for you or not, but like, say you were in a bind and you needed the clothes at the last second, you might have bought the large, right?
Yeah.
So, because I had that exact thing that happened to me. When you were saying all that, I was like, wait, I kind of did that, but I did it on purpose.
Right.
And at that time, it felt fine. Because I was just like, no, I need to wear it. It looks okay, and they don't have a medium.
Right.
Or whatever size I needed.
And the reason I was annoyed is because I tried on a medium and somehow I picked up a large because it was, I don't know, I just gone back and I got a new one.
Yeah.
I was sure, I was like, medium? It wasn't, it was medium and out.
Yeah, I hate returning stuff too.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like, it's kind of not worth the effort, but it's like setting a precedent. You need to start returning stuff, even if it's £5, because...
I freaking forced you to return that thing the other day.
Yeah, so you forced me to return paint the other day. Because I did it with like small things. I'll be like, oh, it's only £5, it's not worth my time. Or it's not worth the headache, I'll just keep it on the side, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when you start with that small item, before you get £100, £200, £300, before you know it, you're wasting money on crap and you've got stuff stuck there.
Yeah,
then you've got to store it as well, look after it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you just clutter your place up and also waste money. My granddad, Tony, actually, he taught me this. He would go to Tesco and he would go buy steaks or something and come back and they'd be out of date. And for £7, he would take his Daimler, which was like a 4-litre V8, back to Tesco. And it'd be £10 in fuel, probably just go there and back.
Yeah.
But he said the reason he'd do it, he goes, you start letting the £5 steak slip. He goes, next time, I'll be letting the £50 item slip. And next time it gets to 100. So I just keep myself on my P's and Q's. I know that I don't get the money back for this trip, but it keeps me honest.
Yeah.
Good.
It's facts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people get caught up in things and waste a lot of time, because time is the most precious entity, really.
Yeah, I think there's a compromise between £5 steak.
Yeah.
You have to remember that thing, though. Always. The time is so important. Kind of like going back to what you said, like that guy was chasing the 500K.
Yeah.
He could have made maybe double or triple if he focused.
And I wonder how enjoyable those 2 years are when you're chasing. You're probably they're probably 2 unenjoyable years when you're going over and over and over a terrible loss. Tell us again what happened. Write down again what happened. How much money did you lose? And over. You just need to forget about it. You need to start. You need to take some psilocybin and
let it go.
Rewire your brain and get over it.
Yeah, because those 2 years, you age like 20 years. In those 2 years, I've seen it with people when they're stuck in like a cycle of something and they can't escape. They age like 10 times as fast.
Stress is horrible, man. That's what I said. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, my old business partners can't let go of the past. They just sit and go over what could have been, what should have been, and if they just focus on moving forward, they'd be fine now,
Yeah, playing the blame game, you know? Like, oh, he done this to me, he done that to me, like... And this is like what we were saying earlier about people have their own truths. There's like the real truth, there's your truth, and there's my truth, like there's 3 sides to it. And like you said, people might be saying, oh, he done me over, or he did this, or because of him I don't have a business anymore, but it's not even true. But in their head it's true, because they've got no, like, introspection or any third-party, like, view on the situation, while... If you took it in front of a judge, the judge would straight up be like, it's your fault. But in their head, they'd still be like, no, I'm right.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's really important to know. Like, when someone tells me a story, I always think there's 2 sides to this story.
3 sides.
3 sides, yeah. And there's this person's version, and normally it's somewhere in between.
Yeah. Real. Because people are really deluded, like...
Yeah. Even, like, I'll be deluded to my own stuff. And, like, so he would have a version of stories where I'd be like, I can see you have a kind of a point there. Like that. Yeah. Because if you're honest about it, you couldn't not give them some points on the other side. But what tends
They
to
find
happen?
an angle and they find a narrative and then push that narrative. It's just what you do with anything, you know?
Yeah.
Anything in life, you find a narrative and why it works in your favour, and you try and sell that narrative, and the other person sells theirs.
Yeah. Women do it all the time, don't they?
Yeah, that's why it's about accountability, like,
Yeah.
being true, like, was it really my fault? And if you could at least acknowledge this part was my fault, you know?
Yeah.
But people who are like that, who are stuck in that loop of blaming someone, they can never see that. Like, this was my fault. I don't blame him for doing what he did. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
It's that true, like, introspection, like being honest to yourself and 100% accountable.
And if you get honest with yourself and you're 100% accountable, even the areas where you think they did wrong, you can still say, well, I did this wrong.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
every time I've been, like, fucked over, I did stuff wrong. Like that turkey thing. What was I doing sending fucking $250,000 to someone who has only sent me $10,000 worth of stock?
Yeah.
It was greed. I could sit there and be like, he fucked me over. No. I played into a scammer's hands. Like,
Yeah.
that was the most dumbest thing ever. Like, and that's why I was so annoyed about it. The money was obviously super, super annoying and it nearly bankrupt. Like, don't get me wrong, that was super stressful. But I was super annoyed about it after because I thought, how the hell did I get done for that? Like, I thought that would never ever happen again.
Yeah.
The last time that ever happened was I bought some Nokia 6310s, 6330s when I was a kid. I bought 3 of them for 360 quid and they would have sold for 200 quid a piece. And that was like off of eBay. Why would they be that cheap?
Yeah.
Too good to be true.
They can sell them at full retail just quick. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Too good to be true. It usually is. He goes, oh, it's because it's bulk, like bulk devices. You're lucky if you get 5% off, not 40%.
Yeah.
Anyway, I buy them. The money doesn't come. I'm in debt to my dad for £360 and it took me a year to pay it back, or like half a year to pay it back. And I used chewing gum actually to pay it back. And that there was like, I thought the last time I'd ever get robbed. And then I got robbed again. And I remember thinking, like, I thought that would never happen again, you idiot, James. That's what I was thinking.
For real. That's what happens after every time you get robbed. You're on like high alert.
Yeah.
And then you forget, you get complacent, you get relaxed, everything's going smooth, and then bang, again, you get hit.
And don't you think, you start to think that you're operating so slick now that you can work it like this, but I'm just safer because I'm smarter now.
Yeah,
and then like suddenly I'm like, oh shit, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was.
You get some people who are machines though, don't you? But I think they miss a lot of opportunities at the same time. You get some people who are so like paranoid and so skeptical, they'll never get rolled, but they'll also miss a lot of opportunities because they'll be like, oh, that's too risky. I kind of admire those people because they're so like, they have so much like control, you know? They'll always be safe. Even if they've got good business, they'll be safe as shit.
But think to your biggest wins, I bet they could have gone badly wrong.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So like, the same as me, like, so if I didn't take those big risks, the people who don't take the big risks, they're not making the big wins either, are they?
Yeah, the big risk, big reward sort of scenario.
Yeah. But I think when you're playing games like that, you just need to be able to take the L's like a man, don't you?
Yeah, never put up like 100% of your net worth either, you know?
No.
Like, that guy lost like $500,000. You must at least have like 5 mil sat there, you know, to be sending 500k.
Yeah.
And if not,
he's just super stupid. Or
Well,
super greedy.
It's risky because at PPE, everyone was handing the money up front.
Yeah.
So you could easily get yourself in a situation where you're taking 2 million quid worth of sales, made like 400 grand, and then you send all of the stock money over and nothing comes. And that's how you can get burned. And then you get a second problem, is the deals that he would have got to get into debt, to lose 500 grand, I bet he had people he owed big money for. And those people would have sent cash, they wouldn't have paid by card. So if he didn't deliver, they would have been breaking his face. That was what was so scary about it, because I had these people that I owed like 400 or 500 grand collectively, and they were all like, where's my stock, where's my stock, where's my stock? So I knew I couldn't not pay. Obviously I would always pay anyway, because I'm geared in a way that I would have died before I didn't pay them. So like, I shook their hand in good faith, and I just thought, like, these guys will kill me if I don't pay them. Like, because you don't know what someone will do for £250,000 or 300 grand or whatever they paid, you know?
Yeah.
So in the end, a lot of those PPE orders, we had to just supply and pay at a loss. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking about the people who are not very risk averse, I was trying to sell gloves to this guy, and he was like, yeah, well, when they're here, I don't mind paying for them, but I won't. And he's got loads of money, but he still don't want to risk it because he's just always, he's got something that works for him right now, and he's not going to take any other risks, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't need a headache.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best way. I think.
Didn't FOMO into it, you know? Even though he's like, I can sell as many of these as you want. I've got loads of customers already.
FOMO is so dangerous.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how people lose all their money on like gambling, crypto, all that stuff. Just FOMO. All of it.
Even back like when I used to gamble, the times I'd lose just chasing money. Going back to the table, like, shit, if that had just gone my way and I had a little bit more money on, I can get it back.
Yeah, the house always wins.
Yeah, the house always wins.
Because my brother thought he'd worked out gambling. This was funny, sad. He was like, I worked out a way to always win at the casino. I go, what do you mean? Like, firstly, he's not the brightest bulb in the box anyway. So if anyone's going to work out to do the casino, it's not going to be him, right? So he's got, I go, what is it then? He's like, well, you go over, you put money on red. And if you lose, you just double the stake. So if you lose £5, you just put £10 on red again, because you know it's guaranteed to come in, it's like 50-50. And he goes, if you lose that, you put 20 down. And if you lose that, you put 40 down. If you lose that, you put 80 down. So he goes, you're always winning back what you lose.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, because first there's a 0 on the board. Right, so how do you counteract that? He's like, oh. And then the second thing he said was, I said, sorry, there's a maximum stake.
Too.
Huh?
We have 00 over there too.
Oh yeah, 0 in America.
Yeah, 0 and 00.
Yeah, so it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So then the other thing was that there's a maximum stake in there of like 360 or something in there.
Yeah.
So then you match that, and it's not guaranteed to come in red anyway. It's probability, like.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 and 2, it can still land black every single time.
It's that bet cap that takes away that edge.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take that long to get it.
And that 0 as well, because you only get paid out double. You don't get paid out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because that takes like 3.33% of the margin, doesn't
it? Yeah.
So like, I think roulette as a game is like a return of 97% on every pound you put down.
Yeah.
So like, you can't win long term anyway. Yeah, and that double up situation, you quickly get to the edge, and then when you get to the edge, you're screwed. You got to go all the way back down.
Yeah, gambling is crazy. People have lost like their whole life, literally their life.
It's a terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
People get seriously addicted to it. My business partner lost everything to gambling.
Yeah. I know a lot of people remortgage their houses due to gambling. It's crazy.
It's a weakness. Like, no, but like, he was a clean cut guy. Like, he was a bad smoker, but other than that, no drugs, no alcohol, not really. But when it comes to, and he was quite proud of that fact. Like, didn't do drugs, didn't do alcohol.
Yeah.
But gambling, he made up for everything he didn't do by being a terrible gambler.
It's one of the worst things if you want to put yourself in a hole.
Yeah.
Literally. You can lose as much as you want to lose.
Yeah, you can.
You think there's a limit, but some people literally so addictive.
Some people just do everything, lose everything on gambling, don't they? Have you ever seen those like old people who you can tell they are just putting every last penny they have into it? They sit on the slot machine. They don't even look like they're having fun.
Yeah, well, I've known certain people and I think, how they end up in this situation, and then it turns out every time they get paid, they'd pay their bills and then they'd go to the casino with whatever's left over, so they would never have any money. Like, this guy's got 3 or 4 businesses, he's been working hard, why is he always so tired? Why is he not gone on holiday? Like, why is he still working like this? You know, and then he's got gambling addiction. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Addiction in general.
Yeah, but the difference about gambling is, like, for example, if you've got drugs, there's only a certain amount of drugs you can do in a day, you know?
Yeah.
But gambling, you can lose as much as you want, in terms of, like, monetary loss, you know?
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
Thanks, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. Follow us on IG, The Brown Ups. And do you want to do your own personal shout-outs for IG?
Yeah, more episodes coming soon. ShizGZ on Insta. And you? TikTok coming soon. Brown Ups, is it?
Yeah. Brown Ups. James Lake Show is my Insta. You want to shout out on Insta?
No. He's private.
No worries, brother.
No.
Alright, so next time. Every Sunday these are dropping, so make sure you subscribe. Get us on social media, particularly Instagram, because we'll always be putting updates of when the next one's coming and which guests. Yeah, hope you like the podcast and look forward to see you guys next week.